The opening laps of this race were some of the craziest I've seen in a while in P Cup. So we'll see if we can survive those laps and get a decent result here at Adelaide. And also there's a giveaway later in the video, so stick around and find out how to enter in that one. So welcome to Top Split P Cup here at Adelaide, down in the land down under. Qualified P4, get off to an okay start, better than the cars behind us, but P3 got a monster start, and he cuts across our nose here, unsights us for turn number 1. Going a little bit cautious into turn number 1 as I have not the ideal line, and then I'm watching my mirrors as the couple of cars behind just absolutely bullying each other all over the place. As you can see here from the external view, the green and the black and white car are just braking super late for turn number 1 on cold tires. The black and white car just bullies the green car off the track into turn number 1. But we have survived. Right now we've lost a little bit of time to the cars out in front. Not ideal, but it's okay for now, and there's a long race to go. Lachlan, the car behind, he's a 2K driver and he was C licensed. He was the car that was the one that bullied the green car off into turn number 1. So I'm watching him a little bit in my mirrors. He was quick in qualifying. He qualified, I think, P5, so just behind us. So he was quick, but we'll see how he is in the race, if he's actually quick throughout the entire race. And from initial impressions, he seemed a bit sketchy under the brakes and dive bombing a little bit. But as we're coming up to finish lap number 1, we are okay. We got a little bit of a train behind us, but we're doing okay right now. I'm still watching my mirrors, still being cautious from the cars behind for dive bombs. As we come into the last corner, I see it. I have a decent gap, but Lachlan goes up the inside. Pretty late move, from what I could see. He tags the back of us, then gets on power way too early and just spins almost into the green car, taking him out. That leaves David to cut through the chaos and gain 3 positions. Come through turn number 1. I go for the kind of the racing line, having the inside. I could have left a bit more space to the green car, but I just was a bit annoyed after the last corner, and I just did not want to concede any more positions. There's a couple of cars spin out there, as you can see. But cutting to the external view, you can see, in fairness to Lachlan, he touched the grass, which sent him a little sliding into the back of us, and then he slides out here, which is just a rookie mistake as he takes out the green car. That, as you see, leaves David through. And we're on the inside here, right up the front, just in front of the car you're focusing on right now. And as I said, I could have been a bit more generous here, but you got to get the elbows out slightly at times, and that's what I was thinking about. If you watch Lachlan here, he just goes for a monster dive bomb. I saw this coming and I got really afraid that he was going to take me out. It wasn't as close as I thought it was, but it was just one of those things where I got really worried all of a sudden. Coming up to finish lap number 2, I see smoke up ahead. There's a car cutting across the track. That was the leader. The leader spun out. You can see here as he's coming through, completely unforced error. Touches the curb, spins out. He's going to reverse just from momentum in towards the barrier. He's going to try cut across the track, spinning the car around when he gets a gap between us. Almost takes us out. It was a little close. We get a net code 4x for that. And somehow we survived the first 2 laps. Lap number 3 right now. We're a little bit behind David. About 3 seconds. We've lost a ton of time to Vaughan and Tyler up in front, so I don't see us getting a win here. Maybe a decent enough result, but if they start fighting, if Tyler and Vaughan start fighting and they start losing time, we could be dragged back up into position. So anything can happen. There's still a ton of this race to go. We still have to worry about Lachlan behind. He is about a second behind right now. So to celebrate surviving the opening laps of that race, as well as the new livery and my recent form in the P Cup series, I'm going to give away a P Cup to one lucky viewer. All you have to do to enter is comment down below P Cup and what track you are most excited to drive this car on. Once we hit 25 comments, I will throw those 25 comments, the names for each person, into a random number generator and then pick a winner. And once the winner is picked, I'll send them a message and they get a free P Cup car on iRacing. Right, back to action. We're still on lap number 3, coming down the back straight. Got Lachlan behind us, and we're just in a little bit of a gap between cars in front of cars behind right now as we're coming through the fast right-hander. And we're trying to see if we can manage the pace, start catching up to the cars up in front, and try and build a gap to Lachlan behind, whilst also not destroying our car, destroying our tyres, or crashing. It's very easy to crash in this kind of double kink left-hander, as you saw with the leader spinning out. It's also very easy to clip the barrier on the inside for turn number 1. But right now the gap is about 3 seconds. David, we caught up a bit into the last corner. It's about 1 second. But that's just, I think, a glitch in iRacing. It's really about 2.5 seconds. So got some gaps we got to catch up to, got to manage our pace as well. As you can see, I'm keeping a little bit safe through turn number 1. I can definitely go tighter, but just did not want to risk it at this early stage. Lap number 4 of 19, still plenty of this race to go. Right now, we're just trying to get into a bit of a groove. Those first couple of laps kind of not necessarily rattled me, but definitely kind of made me go a bit, whoa, what was all that about? So now trying to reset everything, reset my focus, my concentration, and just get some good laps in. The gap to Lachlan behind has been increasing, and it increases further as we skip to lap number 10. Bit of a gap in the laps from 4 to 10, but not much happened. It was just hot lapping a bit. David was pulling away, and we were pulling away from Lachlan behind. So a little bit boring of a race at times, but there's going to be much more happening later. So right now, as we're coming up to finish down the back straight of lap number 10, coming towards the end of this lap, keep an eye on David's time in the relative. You're going to see it's just going to shoot down all of a sudden. So David's made a mistake, and I don't know what happened at this stage, but looking at the replay, as you can see here, he comes through the left-hander, the one I said to watch out for, and he hits the barrier. And this is what I was trying not to do, and just being very cautious on those opening laps and building into a groove, which I did successfully. Starting lap number 11, I can now see David. I've got a nice gap, as you can see, to Lachlan behind. So now we can start smelling blood in the water. I had a feeling he had an accident and that he clipped that barrier and was going to have damage. It's not always a given. He could have just slowed down and just avoided it and, sacrificed time to not get damaged. So I'm watching his car closely here, and I'm watching how it's behaving through corners and over bumps and seeing how he's driving it. Also watching the relative. The gap is now down to just under a second coming onto the back straight. I'm too far back to make a move right now, unless he has major damage, which is nothing visual right now. You can see a little bit of damage on his rear wing. It is bent a little bit. It's hard for me to see that in my cockpit view, but from the external view you can definitely see it. But yeah, we're starting to gain time on him now, and I'm starting to kind of think about where am I going to make a move when we catch him. And maybe it's into this corner, maybe it was into this corner coming up now. I'm not sure. I'm just watching him. He does go a little wide here again, and I'm thinking, okay, he must have done that the last time, but he didn't lose a ton of time this time, so he must have damage because he must have hit that wall. So it almost confirmed for me just seeing him run wide there and how much time he's losing that he has damage. I also, for whatever reason, did not pay attention because it is very obvious now as we start lap number 12 that he has damage to his rear wing. The gap is now down to about 0.3 of a second. Coming through the first corner, I keep it a little cautious on the left-hander, almost going over the right-hander for a slowdown, which you really need to be careful of because those slowdowns really hurt you. It's like a second and a half. So right now we're just trying to keep on the back of him, watch the relative, watch how he's driving, and try and wait for an opportunity. We're on lap 12 of 19, so there's plenty of this race to go, about 2/3 of this race to go. Hoping for a good run down the back straight here to possibly open up a move after the kink into the hairpin on. But that kink, that is a very fast right-hander, and it's very hard to go flat out at the best of times, and it's really hard to go follow somebody. So I think I was a little bit too far behind him at this stage, so I wasn't thinking about a move, but maybe next lap. And as we're coming through this kind of right-hander left now, a tricky left to finish this lap, I see him make a mistake. He runs wide, outbrakes himself. That opens up an opportunity for me to go up the inside. I was very cautious. I didn't want to run into him and kill him, squishing him in between me and the wall, but we get the move done. I go defensive here, keeping a defensive line on the right so that he doesn't think about a return move into the last corner. And now, starting lap number 13, we are in P3. Would be a very good result, and I would be very happy to finish P3 right now, but this race is not over. We still got about 1/3 of the race to go, and we've got to build a gap to David now. The gap right now is about 2/10, maybe 3/10. He's still behind. I don't know if he could follow very well, and right now, even though he had damage and he was driving a bit cautiously and I got past him, sometimes you get people who, once they get a car in front of them, can suddenly find pace, and you just got to be a bit careful of having somebody making a move again. I do see a bit of a gap here now starting to increase down the back straight, and I'm feeling a bit more comfortable all of a sudden with my third position. I'm not going to go defensive into the hairpin. I think he's a little bit too far back for that. And coming through these double left-handers, I know my car's a bit more stable, and he was a bit, he outbraked himself a little bit, so I'm a little cautious coming through here and just not pushing as hard as let's say I would on, let's say, a push lap. But the gap is increasing right now. As you can see, it's about 0.6 of a second, so we have gained about 3/10 just in one lap, and that gap is going to start increasing the more we push and the more damage he has to deal with. So lap number 14, we're just going to come into turn number 1 again, just keeping it a little bit cautious now. Lose about 2/10, but we're going to gain it on the exit. Just one of those things where it's about managing. And as you can see here, as we finish lap number 15, starting lap number 16, the gap has grown. We're about 1.6, 1.7 seconds ahead of David coming onto lap number 16. The gap to Vaughan up in front has been decreasing slightly, ever so slightly, at maybe a 10th or 2 per lap. It's definitely not enough for me to start catching them and really putting him under pressure. We are gaining time on him at this stage of the race, but it was not going to be something where I'm going to catch him because we just didn't have the time. Starting our final lap right now, coming down the back straight here, you can see the gap up in front is too much, but the gap behind has increased significantly as well. So it's going to be a P3 as long as we keep it all together through this tricky left-hander and the last corner. And the gaps, we're kind of in a bit of a no man's land right now for the last few laps, but I'll take that any day. I'll take a nice cruise to P3. So very happy with the result this week. Going to finish this one in P3, as I said. Strength of field is about 2.7k. So I'm happy with this. This pushes us up to, I think, about 3.7k in iRating. So very happy with this race, and it was a good result. What can I say? I like Adelaide. It's a good track. As long as you can survive the early chaos, it's a fun track to race, and I had a lot of fun. So if you like this video, guys, give it a like. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to comment down below and enter the competition to win yourself a free P-Cup car. And I'll see you in the next video.